Sometimes the biggest, most complicated problems have solutions hiding right in plain sight. The real trick isn't having all the answers yourself. It's about knowing how to ask the right questions, and maybe even more importantly, how to actually listen. Today, we're going to dive into a powerful method built on that exact idea: rapid rural appraisal. So, let's set the scene. Our story starts in a small village, a place that's facing this persistent, kind of invisible threat. Now, on the surface, everything looks peaceful, but just underneath, there's a serious problem brewing, and nobody can figure out why. Just take a look at this. It's a rainy day, you've got the homes, all this lush green landscape, and right in the middle of it all, a well. This well should be a source of life, right? The heart of the community? But for the kids here, it's become something dangerous, a recurring source of serious illness. And that brings us to the central mystery. Year after year, it happens like clockwork. The moment the rains come, the number of children getting sick with diarrhea just skyrockets. So why? The community is desperate for an answer. And to find it, a new kind of team is brought in. A team that isn't just going to look at the problem, they're going to look at it in a whole new way. See, to solve a puzzle like this, the experts know they can't just roll in with a clipboard and a bunch of preconceived notions. No. They need a fundamentally different approach, one that's not based on telling people what to do, but on asking, on seeing, and on really, truly understanding. And that method is called rapid rural appraisal, or RRA for short. Now, think of it less like a doctor just writing a prescription and walking away, and more like a detective partnering up with the most important witness. It's all about learning from the community, blending their real, lived experience with outside expertise. And this, right here, this is the absolute core difference. A traditional expert might just assume, oh, the water's bad, and recommend a new well. But an RRA team, they show up with open minds and a ton of questions. They ask themselves, are we assuming only certain people use this well? Are we only visiting at one time of day? They challenge their own biases right from the get-go. So who exactly is on this team? Well, it's basically a dream team of different perspectives. You've got a social scientist to understand how the community works, a health specialist to look at the disease patterns, an ecologist to study the environment, and, this is so crucial, local informants, the people who actually live there and have the most valuable knowledge of all. It's about seeing the problem from every single angle. Okay, so we've got the right people on the team. But what do they actually do? How do they start finding the clues to solve this mystery? Well, let's take a look inside their toolkit. The RRA toolkit isn't just one magic wand, it's a whole collection of instruments. We're talking about everything from casual, semi-structured interviews and focus groups to carefully observing what's happening, digging into existing data, and, my favorite part, creating maps and diagrams with the community. The whole point is to use lots of different methods to double-check and verify every single piece of information. And one of the most powerful tools in that whole kit is community mapping. To really crack this case, the team needs to see the village not just as a bunch of houses, but as a living, breathing system. For instance, check out this map from a different RRA project. By literally walking through the area with the community and drawing out what's where. Okay, wheat is over here, sugarcane is there, a river cuts through this way. Patterns just start to pop out. You begin to see how resources are laid out and how people move through and interact with their environment. And that same idea is what they used to tackle our village's health crisis. And this is where it all just clicks into place. First, the mothers report the pattern. Sickness always follows the rain. Then, health records confirm it. Yep, cases officially double. Direct observation gives them the how. The team literally sees waste and runoff pooling around the open well during the rainy season. And finally, mapping nails down the source. The homes with the sickest children are all clustered right around that one contaminated water source. Mystery solved. Okay, so solving one village's water problem, that is a massive victory. But the power of RRA isn't just about this one specific problem. It's actually a super flexible framework that you can adapt to a huge range of different challenges. Just look at this table. RARA can be exploratory, just to get the lay of the land when you're starting out. It can be diagnostic, which is what we just saw, to figure out the why behind a problem. You can use it for planning a new project, for monitoring one that's already happening, or for evaluating a project after it's finished to see if it actually worked. It's the same core idea, just applied to a different goal. So, when you boil it all down, after all this, what's the single most important thing that makes this entire approach work?
Well, it comes down to one really simple but profound idea.
The success of ROA really stands on these four pillars. 1, it's structured, but it's flexible enough to pivot when you learn something new. 2, it's iterative. The team analyzes what they're finding right there in the field, not weeks later back in some office. 3, it's interdisciplinary, because you need a team of different thinkers for complex problems. And 4, maybe the most important of all, it's collaborative. The local people are partners, not just subjects to be studied. That idea alone was so powerful, it actually led to whole new approaches that are even more focused on participation. And that right there is the heart of it all. You can have all the best tools and the smartest experts in the world, but they're useless without a genuine willingness to just listen and to learn. And it leaves us with a pretty critical question, doesn't it? How many of our own challenges, big and small, already have a solution, just waiting for us to finally stop and truly listen?